How are we doing? How are you guys doing? You guys get on here fast. How are we doing? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Wednesday. Oh, you came in under that. Give Joel some time to join us. Get on. We'll get started. Hopefully everyone is having a okay week with everything that's going on. I know things are starting to open up, so be safe. Do what you got to do. But let me get Joel in here. Oh, and he left just like that. He'll get back on. He's an old man. He's trying to figure it out. But like I said, hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. I'm getting back to whatever it may be that you're getting back to. 3 shows this week, so keep that in mind tonight. Tomorrow night is a special, and then Friday I'll be speaking with a guest we had before. So it's a it's going to be a good week of shows. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Didn't figure it out the first time, huh?
Nah, I had it on the foundation page, so I had to go ahead and switch it to my personal.
I saw that. We'll give people a minute or two to get in,
Okay.
so that so your followers can get in as well. How's it going out there?
It's going all right, man. We're excited about giving out these computers, man. Since I've created the video and since I've been posting, people have been contacting me about actually donating more computers. So we're trying to bridge the gap, for these youth that in the city that don't have computers and technology. And so we've given out with our virtual program, we've given out 70 tablets, and now we're gonna give out 20 laptops. So that's 90 kids receiving some technology that they could use for school as well. So
Yeah, that's what's up.
yeah, man.
Look at that. I taught you so well. That's
Right. Yeah, man. It's going good. How's everything out in Vegas, man? Y'all got the Reliance Stadium out there and everything, huh?
Allegiant Stadium, Reliance
Oh, that's what it
in
is.
Houston, right? No, Allegiant Stadium. You saw it the other day when I posted it. It's beautiful. I can't wait. The NFL just announced that the Pro Bowl is going to be here this year too. So excited about that. And then the draft will be back.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's gonna be good. I almost bought season tickets. I didn't because I really didn't need to spend my money like that.
Right.
But I'm gonna go to games. Obviously, the Ravens don't play the Raiders this year. I believe next year they'll play the AFC West. But there's some pretty good matchups. The first game here, besides preseason, is Monday Night Football. So right. Yeah,
that's gonna be tough right there.
Definitely gonna be in there.
Hey man, I might come out there for the Pro Bowl. Me and my lady, we went to Orlando this season. And went to the Pro Bowl. It wasn't super exciting, because it's the Pro Bowl, but just to get a chance to go to Vegas and see the stadium and be in there, I get free tickets. So, why not go ahead and take that flight?
So, I live here, so just remember that when you get those tickets.
I got you.
But we'll go ahead and get started. So my guest this evening is Mr. Joel Gamble. He is the CEO of the Joel Gamble Foundation out of Baltimore, Maryland. Joel is a paraprofessional in the Baltimore County Public Schools. He was also a former coach of mine, so he did work for me when he first got in, but, we've remained friends since. And actually, we were next-door neighbors, too, a long, long time ago. So it's good to see everything that you're doing. As I had mentioned in your advertisement, you had played in the NFL and you played for a couple teams.
Hmm.
Was the goal for you ever since you were a little kid to be in the NFL?
Oh, absolutely, man. That's every kid's dream, bro. Is to be a professional athlete. The crazy thing is, my first love as far as sports is basketball. And so, I played basketball. I was good at it. I ended up breaking my ankle in the ACC basketball camp in high school. And so I kind of stayed away from basketball as far as like the ankle injuries consistently piled up on me. And football, we always played in the backyard. We played throw up football in the street. And, it was just another love of mine. And so I kind of grew into more love for football, and it grew on me, and it just took off from there, man. So I remember looking at an elementary school was a report or something of mine, and it had what do you want to be when you grow up, and it was like professional athlete, police officer was one as well, and I was able to, fulfill that dream. So it was definitely a blessing.
Awesome. Now, anyone who's played sports and you dream of getting to the next level, you kind of have some things going on in your head if things don't actually work out. When you were in the NFL, did you have a backup plan per se, or was it
Hon-
just full bore ahead?
Honestly, man, a lot of people, and I tell youth this, and some people may not agree with me, but I never had a plan B. I always believed coming out of college, once I started to get that, I don't know, that momentum in college where NFL teams were interested, and I actually believed, like, oh, shucks, this is happening. This can actually happen to me. Once that, started coming, I felt as though I had what it took. And so I just needed to apply myself more in the weight room, apply myself more as far as, just being fully committed, 110%. I tell people. And so if you have a dream and it's a dream such as like being an actor, an actress, an athlete of any type of, high up position, then you got to make sure that you're going 110%. And there's no plan B when it comes to that. So when I tell people, man, I lived, ate, slept, breathed NFL. And, that's all I prayed about. That's all, like just going for runs late at night. Everything that was me at that time was, trying to make it to the NFL. And so, I didn't have a backup plan, and it worked out perfect for me because I didn't need one once I got there.
Right,
So,
right.
um, yeah, but I saw, along the way, I just saw a lot of people kind of fall off. Like, people needed a job, had kids and, financial difficulty. It was different things that kind of played a part in some people not making it to that level, man. And so that's what actually makes it that 1% of folks that actually make it into the league. And so, I was blessed to do so and play for several teams, but there was no plan B ever.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, that's great. Now,
Yeah.
you had mentioned it a little bit, and I wanted to just dip into it a little bit, the fitness aspect of it. How did your fitness evolve going from high school, then to college, then to the NFL? And what did you have to do differently besides, lifting more weights to really train your brain and to train your body as far as playing in the NFL?
Honestly, in high school, coming from Carver High School, we didn't have a weight room, a legitimate weight room. And so I basically in high school, it was all talent, all natural ability, and, natural size. And then moving forward, going into college, I remember going into my freshman year and we were doing like our weight room test and things of that nature. And everybody was warming up with 135. And I get under 135 and I'm like, I'm struggling with the 135, man. I think
Right.
I think I repped it out like maybe 8 times, and I was like,
Ooh.
"Oh, that's my max right there." And so, you know, being coming from, Baltimore and not having at that time, not having the weight rooms, not having training facilities, not having the money to actually pay trainers and things of that nature. Now it's different nowadays because you got so many resources and so many people helping out youth.
Mhm.
But back then we didn't have it. And so, I just went off of pure talent, man. And once I got to college, I was able to take advantage of the weight room. I went from about 215 going into my sophomore year, and by the time I was a junior, I was about 250. So so yeah, I took advantage of the weight room, and then my mindset changed again once I got out of college because I wanted to make it professionally. My mindset shifted into how to eat right, how to live, breathe, and sleep. Being a professional athlete, and so it kind of shifted. The high school game from college game is a whole lot. The
Right.
college game is a whole lot faster. Everybody's bigger, stronger. So that was, like an eye opener. But I
Yeah.
was, it was crazy, man. I saw all these big guys, and I got to use my natural talent to, shake them and do different things. And then once, I kind of leveled the playing field as far as using the weight room and taking advantage of the meal plans and all in college. And then after that, taking advantage of my trainer Troy Jones, who I give major props to.
Mhm.
That was huge for me. He convinced me I was around 265, and he convinced me to drop weight and that I would be stronger and faster at a lighter weight. And so I dropped down to about 250, and he was right. I was benching probably 225 around 36 times or so.
Right.
So I went from only benching 135 8 times to 225 36 times. So
Right.
it's a huge difference, man. And so it definitely was a change from high school, college to the NFL.
Yeah. Now, once you got out, and I hate using the word regret because as we get older, we just learn and we mature. But once you were out, did you ever have that feeling that you wanted to get back in, or did you regret getting out?
Yeah, man. I mean, nobody's ever ready to retire from the NFL. When you think about it, it's probably the best job you'll ever have. Even now, as much as I give back, even if, I turn my foundation or turn, my businesses into $1 million businesses, it's still nothing like playing a game that you love and making money doing it. And so, there's never going to be a job like that where I'll get a chance to, do the things that I love in that aspect. And so there's no regrets because at the time, I didn't leave football. At the time that I didn't get a chance to get back in, that was around the CBA agreement and the lockout. And so it was hard for a lot of players to get back in because they opened up the lockout in order for them to hold the draft. And so they kind of filled the rosters up with college players. And then, guys like Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, and more, weren't able to get a chance back into the league. And I was one of those guys in 2011 that, wasn't lucky enough to get another chance. And so I had workouts with the Ravens, was talks with Atlanta Falcons, with them bringing me in, but it just didn't work out. And so I had to move on. Luckily, I had enough money that I could, live off of my salary for, the years that I didn't have a job and then move on to the next portion of my life. But it's definitely a transition when you go from that type of job to just the day to day,
Yeah.
not having an NFL. And so it was a huge transition. Probably took about 2 years for me to kind of settle down and get into the routine of things and the change of lifestyle. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, I was going to ask you that. I said, after the NFL, what issues did you face, and did you have a hard time finding a job or actually getting back into a routine of kind of a normal life?
Absolutely, man. It was a struggle. I would say I was depressed for probably about 2 years and
Oh wow.
questioning, at the time my faith. I'm a Christian, and so I'm always putting God first. And so I kind of questioned, why, it took me so long to get there, and I worked so hard to get there. And while I was there, I was, that role model that all the kids needed to see, and then, the CBA agreement comes and the lockout comes, and now I don't have a job. And so I was kind of questioning God, like, why am I not in the league anymore? And so it took some time for me to kind of, fight, fight my inner demons with that. And now, I'm blessed to, God had another path for me, and I was able to use that platform to actually, benefit youth all over Baltimore and beyond. So, a lot of guys in the league that played 17, 19, how many umpteenth years, haven't as affected as many lives as I have as far as youth in the city. And so, that's a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I wanted to focus most of this the time on is the foundation and why decide to start a foundation?
Well, there was no NFL players, no NBA players, no any celebrity coming in the inner city in West Baltimore,
Right.
giving us hope at all. And so when I actually, was successful in my journey to actually get to the NFL, and I got there, I wanted to actually come back and be the hope that these kids need in the inner city. And so I feel as though, these kids need to see these guys, these ladies, these celebrities come back in the inner city and actually give back, and not just, throw your money at,
Right.
recreation centers and things like that, but actually be there for kids to actually talk to you, for the community to talk to you, and and touch you, and feel that you're actually a part of them. And so they'll have that hope that, hey, this could be me. He's from the same hood that I'm from, and he's right here, and he was at this level. And so I want to be that person for the kids in my inner city that comes back and gives back. And now I feel as though it's a lot of guys that kind of feel that way. And ladies, a lot of celebrities have come back in their inner cities now. As far as like our generations, it's getting even better as far as celebrities coming in the communities and giving back and actually being there. So, that's great to see.
Yeah. Now, with this question, I'm not tooting my own horn, but how crucial was that 1 year of coaching that we were able to do together too? It's been such a long time. It
Six
was
and four, 9-1, bro.
there you go. Just
The
to remind the
tactical ain't
audience,
been, the
9-1.
tactical ain't been the same since.
It hasn't been since I've left. The best football record in school history. But anyways, that's besides the point. What did those 2 years do for you as far as the formation of the foundation and giving back to kids? Because you did a lot for me. Not only did you coach the tight ends and wide receivers, but it had a lot to do with kid behavior, discipline wise and grades and everything. So how did that help with that?
It just allowed me to see, where kids, their thought process was in high school, and getting a chance to see that a lot of the kids that we had didn't know what they were going to do when they got out of school. And so, especially when I was putting together like the packets for those kids that were, wanted to go to college, and then seeing, the other coaches as far as like other teams and other schools, kids not actually making it. And, and that's a huge problem in our inner cities is, a lot of our kids, they come out of high school, they don't have any type of opportunities waiting for them in after they're out of school. And so whether it be a job, whether it be college, a lot of them don't know. And so, I was like, man, just seeing this, I want to make sure that, I can reach a broader audience of youth, and, and be that, like I said, like that hope that, hopefully they can be successful in whatever it is that they want to do. And so, I wanted to provide college opportunities for kids, wanted to provide mentoring for kids, wanted to provide sports leagues and all of that type of stuff for youth, just so they would have something. And I feel as though I was able to reach, a whole lot more kids on a broader spectrum as opposed to just coaching, as far as one team.
Yeah. How much, and again, going back to our coaching days, the encounters that we had with parents all the time regarding everything. How much of the onus do you put, and I've met your father a couple times, and I know how he is, and I'm sure he was the same way when you were growing up. How much of the onus do you put on parents to then be more active in their child's lives, whether it's schooling or sports or even just both?
Oh, it's huge, man. It's huge for parents. I just actually thanked my parents a few days ago, man. They separated, got a divorce around the age of 10, but my dad still came to my games. He was at every game pretty much. And just that support, the morals that they instilled in me at a young age, were wonderful. And, I knew right from wrong. And just having, a male positive figure in your life is huge for a lot of kids. We see it in our communities, man. We got a lot of homes, the fatherless homes, single moms trying to raise youth. And, I shout out to the moms out there, man. They do their best, but we need fathers in the household. And so, that's why we have mentoring programs, now more than ever. It's like 100 mentoring programs out here. And so we need more. It's never enough because we need positive male role models for these boys and girls. First off, you need a father figure in the household, just to show the child how to be a man, show the girls, how a father should treat a mother and, those types of things, and so they need to see that interaction. And, in order for them to actually grow and become successful. And so, I definitely thank my parents for instilling those values at a young age within me. And so, I turned out all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all
So,
right.
right. So back to the foundation. Explain to us, especially for the people who don't know, what does the Joel Gamble Foundation actually do?
So the Joel Gamble Foundation started in 2013 after coaching. It helps youth with a broad range of programs. So we have mentoring programs. Obviously, I talked about the lack of fathers in the household. Mentoring helps with that because, if I bring positive men and women into the schools, positive men and women into these kids' lives, then they will be able to help with the lack of positive parenting and things of that nature. We have sports leagues that are free. So that provides outlet for youth. I remember when I was growing up, when my mom and dad did separate, I had a whole lot of built up anger and frustration in me. And so I needed that sports. That's what made me good at football. And I needed those sports to kind of release my anger and frustrations. And so we have the sports leagues for kids. Obviously the city is not a lot of green space for them to play. And so we try to provide those leagues in order for those kids to get a chance to play and participate in some type of activities. We have football camps. We also have college tours. So, I'm a firm believer in experiences for youth. So you may not want to go to college, but those that do, if they don't get a chance to experience a visit or experience those college tours, then they don't know what college is about. And so taking the kids on college tours is huge. We took 5 kids in our student athlete program, and 3 of those 5 ended up going to college. And that was out of Carver High School, which is, doesn't have a whole lot of kids going to school. And so, we can hang our hat on that. And so, we provide health and wellness programs in partnership with LifeBridge Health. to teach kids proper eating, how to take care of your bodies when you are athlete, a student athlete. We also provide tutoring and literacy programs. I have my own children's book out. And so, we provide a wide range of programs to help kids become successful in whatever it is that they want to do.
Now, I can honestly say I was there at the first camp, um, the first league. I wasn't recruiting. I'm not going to say I'm not going to implicate myself in that, but I was there. So how large has the foundation gotten, and did you ever envision it getting to this to where it is right now?
Man, I mean, like you said, you were there at the first football camp, and that's all we had at the time.
Right.
We started off, it was just one football camp that year, and that was the only program, only thing that we did. And then, like I said, God had a vision. He had a plan for my life, and I didn't plan it. It just kind of happened. Like I started with the football camp, and then I saw the need for youth were asking, when's the next camp? When we going to have that again? And so there was a need for more consistent programs. So it went from camp to flag football league to mentoring to college tours to, student athlete program to, all the programs that we have now. They kind of, snowballed from that first football camp. And so I was blessed to, have a wide range of resources and people that I know that helped out when we didn't have any funds coming in. We were able to pull resources together and volunteers to make things happen for the kids. And I think a lot of people see the passion that I have for helping youth. And, once they see that, then they want to give as well. And we all know that youth, are our future. And so if we don't invest in our youth, then, what are we going to do?
Right. Now, I had a great question come in here. Let me see if I can pull it up. So the question is, are kids, students, and you can definitely answer this because you're in high school now. I'm not. Are kids, students being prepared to compete within classrooms at the university level? Before you get to your answer, I'm going to answer mine from when I was there as well. And it wasn't just based off of the school, but the school system itself. And one of the biggest reasons why I left the school education altogether was that I saw it starting to then decrease. What I think when we were in school, because we're about the same age, our what do you call it? There was honors and what was the next level up?
AP or GT and
GT. Yeah, so GT now is basically like the standard. So I'm going to say no, and that's being out of education for 5 years. But Joel, do you have anything to that question? I know you're going to say no.
We aren't prepared. We aren't preparing our kids. Obviously, the resources aren't there. When we talk about standardized, and I could go on and on. I'm a huge advocate for youth and an educator. And so when we talk about getting our kids ready for classrooms at the university level, I don't even think we were ready back then. When I got to college, I wasn't ready. And now, the schools, the buildings themselves are still the same buildings that were there when I was in school. I know my elementary school is still standing to this day. Matthew and Henson Elementary School in West Baltimore. And it's actually the elementary school that was on the news for not having heat and air condition when Aaron Maben put that out into the public. And so that's a school that I went to elementary school, 30 some years ago, and it's still the same school to this day. And so first of all, we need to start with the renovation of our schools. Because we can't talk about standardized testing if there's nothing standard about the schools. So if nothing's the same in the schools, then how can you expect kids to perform at a high level on the test, as opposed to kids over here that may have a better school, better technology, air conditioning in their school, proper drinking water. I mean, we just aren't preparing our kids. There's no reason why a kid, someone can pay more money for a better education.
Right.
And so, everybody should have an opportunity to have a great education, and then level the playing field. But it's just not the case, especially in our inner cities where, we just don't have the resources. And so it's a bunch of excuses. And, the SAT for kids to get into college, that's a bunch of crap, because, I mean, we just don't prepare, some of the verbiage and,
Right.
the opportunities as far as like, I didn't know that, you can actually prepare for the test. You got some folks that's paying tutors out here for the SATs for their kids. And, our communities, we aren't prepared, and we can't pay for tutoring and all of that for SATs. And then the verbiage that's in the test, we aren't used to. And so it's not standard. It's not standard for everybody. And so until it's standard for everybody, which probably is not the case because all the schools are not exactly the same, then, we aren't preparing our kids properly. And you
It,
got to think about trauma. Some kids are don't have their lights on at home. Some
right.
kids are trying to get their next meal, so they're coming to school unprepared already. I'm not thinking about homework or classwork if I, didn't even get a chance to eat my meals.
Right.
And so it's tough. Or, if my dad just, got murdered in the streets or things like that. And so we aren't preparing our kids as much as we can. And like I said, investment is key. Instead of investing in juvenile jail facilities and policing, and you can put as many police as you want to on each corner in Baltimore, and you will not stop crime because you're not actually hitting the root cause of the crime. And so that's how I feel about it. We just aren't preparing our youth.
Right. And I wasn't going to open up a can of worms, but obviously it's relevant. It's I mean it's relevant to what, especially what's going on now, because everyone is very scared of this term defunding the police. But like I had posted the other day, we're worried about defunding the police when we've been defunding education for the past 20, 30 years of our lifetime. So it's
Right.
it's
It's
crazy.
about
But
we expect police officers, and I love officers. I have programs for police officers. I have friends that are police officers.
right,
We expect them to do absolutely too much. You cannot expect a professional to be a mental health professional. You can't expect them to be a counselor. You can't expect them to be, domestic violence, like everything.
yeah,
They get called for everything. And so, we would love to see a mental health professional come out if there's a mental health crisis, not a police officer, because they're going to respond differently. And so when they talk about defunding, it doesn't mean get rid of police, because we need police officers to respond to violent crimes. But when we talk about defunding, we're actually referring to funding those outside sources that are professionals in the fields that police get called on all the time for, that can actually come in the place of a police, like drug abuse counselors.
yeah,
We don't need a police showing up, to a mental health crisis, because the mental health, if you worked in the mental health field, they're going to be, wilding out, acting, ridiculous. And so police are going to respond in a physical, aggressive manner because they want to actually de-escalate in a physical manner. And so it just needs to be different.
I believe me, I get it. I've been dealing with it. I've done some of my research, and I just took from Baltimore City in 2008. The city budget was about $1 billion. I'm sorry, about two. 880 million went to police, and that's everything. So all that, and then 11.1 million went to education, and that was allocated between um, renovations, teacher pensions, everything. So, and that just kind of, and
Yeah.
that's 2018. So I can only imagine where we're at now.
Yeah,
But
people think that we can police everything, but we, like I said, you could hire as many police as you want until you actually stop change the root causes, which is poverty, job opportunities, things of that nature. You're still going to have crime. I mean,
I agree.
I've lived in all types of areas. I live in a rural area where I could leave my car door open or a package on my stoop, on my porch, and nobody ever touch it. But
Not where we used to live.
in the city, you leave a package out there, and it's not because, it's not because it's bad people or anything like that. Like the opportunities are slim, so people need to turn on their lights and need to eat, and so they're gonna, actually it's survival. It's basically survival, and so we learn theories in education, all the Darwin and all of that, all those theories about, um, just self preservation and survival and all of that, and so that's what's happening in some of our inner cities.
Yeah, no, I understand. But not to get on a tangent, back to the foundation. What are the next steps? What's the next phase of the Joel Gamble Foundation? Where do you see it going now?
Well, we're looking to partner with LifeBridge actually, for bigger and better programs, and we're looking for funding. We've been funded by University of Maryland Health, as well as LifeBridge in the past, and so we're looking for more funding to expand our programs that we have. And possibly be able to have flag football in West and East Baltimore, possibly be able to have mentoring programs all over the city, and expand our literacy programs. And so that's what we're looking to do now at this point. And so we're excited about the possibilities of expansion and partnerships with some of these corporations and businesses. And so, we're looking forward to that in the future.
Awesome. I was going to ask how, if there's any viewers out there in Baltimore, how they can get involved. How can they get involved?
So if they want to contact the Joel Gamble Foundation, feel free to find us on www.thejoelgamblefoundation.org. We have a contact page. Feel free to type in your name, your information, send us a message if you want to volunteer, what programs you're looking to volunteer for, what you're looking to do with youth. All of our programs touch youth in a major way. So whether it be mentoring, you want to help out with a college tour, if you want to help out with what we're doing now as far as, providing computers and technology for youth, you can get involved in that. No matter what it is, if you want to be a coach in a flag football league, feel free to hit us up. If you want to donate, we have a donate button. Feel free to click that. Everything that we do, everything that we receive goes back into the youth. I'm sure you guys are tired of me posting every day, every week. Like, man, this dude is doing. Hey, we out here trying to provide these opportunities for the kids, and so it's never going to stop. It's going to continue to keep going, and so if you want to help out, we can do it ourselves. We need to stop looking for other folks to help us out and actually be able to do it ourselves. I see somebody right here, Parisi Speed School, absolutely. Parisi Speed School and LifeBridge Health is, like I said, a major contributor to the Joel Gamble Foundation. We've run our programs with them now for about 4 years, our health and wellness program. Last year we did Woodlawn Girls Track Team. We had positive women come in and talk about was the college and career readiness, healthy eating, financial literacy, things of that nature. So that program was great, and we're looking to continue our partnership with LifeBridge. Parisi Speed School, shout out to them. They get it done with Jason Kim and the rest of the staff there. So we're excited to continue these partnerships that we have in the city and the county, and keep it moving.
Yeah, awesome. So as we close out here, I wanted you to impart on our viewers kind of a gem that you would leave with us maybe about your philosophy on life, about learning, just anything that that you've always believed in.
I've always believed
Oh, oh.
you there?
I don't think anyone wants to see the back of my TV. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Or no.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I've always believed in having a giving heart and giving to others. And that's kind of what I live by. And if I'm able to, and I believe that God has blessed me in a major way because of the heart that I have to give to others. Man, now I don't have a heart to give to a lot of adults, but my heart, goes out to the youth in a major way. And so, I feel as though if we start with the youth, we can change the outlook of things in this country. And so, I'm always looking to help youth become successful in whatever it is that they're trying to do and provide those opportunities, because I believe that we provide opportunities for kids, then they can be successful and they can help us out in the future. And so, what I tell the youth when I do things for the youth, I always tell them, remember, Joel Gamble didn't have to do this for you. So when you become successful, you better make sure that you come back and give back to those that's unfortunate. So it causes a ripple effect and kind of recycling where everybody's giving back to everybody. And so that's what I want to see in this world, man.
Yeah, definitely. Now I'm going to put all your information up on this later on, but if you could run down all your social media for anyone who doesn't follow you and they want to start following or help out, go ahead and do that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. My personal IG account is Joel_Gamble, JOEL_GAMBLE. My Twitter is NFLTE82 on Twitter. We have our foundation Facebook page, the Joel Gamble Foundation. I also have my LinkedIn, Joel Gamble. Check me out, look me up, network, donate, help out, volunteer, whatever you got for the kids. I'm all ears. If you're ready to get work, get your hands dirty, hit me up.
Awesome. Well, Joel, it was nice speaking with you. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you guys get the tickets, just just let me know. But we'll chat after this.
All right, bro. Appreciate
All right.
you.
No
All right,
problem.
take care.
See you, Joel. All right, so I was excited to have Mr. Joel Gamble on for this show this evening. He is the CEO of the Joel Gamble Foundation. All his handles, social media will be up on the IGTV. Just a couple announcements about Focus TV. If you saw my post today, we will be moving to YouTube July the 3rd, starting July the 3rd with my documentary that will be coming out 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That is Friday, July the 3rd. And then all the interviews, if you miss them here on Instagram, you'll be able to catch them on YouTube as well, along with a weekly segment just about different things regarding physical and mental health. So keep an eye out on that. We do have 3 shows this week. We just got done with one. Tomorrow is a very special matchup, which mashup, not matchup, a mashup I'm very excited about. Miss Suki, I don't want to say her last name wrong, so I'm not going to, but she is one of the co-hosts of another Black podcast, and we're just going to be talking, just basically talking. So it's going to be not a little bit out of my element, but that's what we're going to be doing. And then on Friday, we're going to have Ian Edwards. We've had Ian on before of 6'4". We'll be talking all things skincare. So keep an eye out for that. See you tomorrow evening. Focus TV, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. See you then.